merge intervals LeetCode question number 56 using Python. So in this question, you are given an array of intervals which includes different intervals from start to end. So in this question, they are asking you to merge all the overlapping intervals and return an array of the non-overlapping intervals that covers all the intervals in the input. As you can see in example 1, you are given an input of intervals 1 to 3, 2 to 6, 8 to 10 and 15 to 18. So here we have to merge all the overlapping intervals. As you can see over here, first interval is 1 to 3. It means values of that interval are 1, 2 and 3. And second interval is 2 to 6. So from here you can see that the first element of second interval lies in the first interval, that is 2. So these two are overlapping intervals. Therefore we will merge these two intervals and we will get the interval 1 to 6 in place of these two intervals. Now as we modify this array, we get first interval 1 to 6, second 8 to 10 and third 15 to 18. So as 8 doesn't lie between 1 and 6, so these two doesn't overlap. Similarly, as 15 doesn't lie between 8 and 10, this two also doesn't overlap. So finally we got the output 1 to 6, 8 to 10 and 15 to 18. Also from example 2, input intervals is given 1 to 4 and 4 to 5. As 4 lies in the first interval, that is 4 is the last element of the first interval. These two intervals overlap. Hence, we get the final merged interval 1 to 5, which is our output. Now, let's see the code part of this question. Let's understand this given code. If not intervals, return an empty list. It means that whenever our intervals array is empty, it will return an empty list. Then intervals dot sort key equals to lambda x colon x 0. This line of code will sort the given array with respect to the first element of the subarray. Like in example 1, you can see that they have already given the intervals array in sorted format. As we want to sort them, the first element of each array is in sorted format. Like first element of the first subarray is 1, the second one is 2, then 8, then 15. They are in ascending order. The next line of code, merged equals to intervals 0. Here we have created a new array merged which we have initialized with the first interval of given array in the question input. Then for interval in intervals 1 colon. It means that we will iterate from the first element of intervals array which is given in the input. This particular line of code means that if the start element of the interval in intervals array is less than equal to the end element of the interval in merged array, then the merged array end element of interval will maximum of the merged -1 1 and interval of 1, else we will append the interval directly. Then finally we will return the merged interval. Then finally we will return the merged array. Now let us understand this given code using first example.
Let's try to understand this code using given example. We will see that if the intervals array is empty, then we will return empty array. Then after, we will sort the intervals based on the first element of given subinterval, that is based on 1, 2, 8 and 15. As you can see that in the given question, they have already provided the sorted interval, that is 1, 2, 8, 15 are in ascending order. Then we will create a merged array with its first element as subinterval of the given intervals, which is 1 comma 3, which is first subinterval. So here merged will become initially okay. For interval, in intervals 1 colon, this line of code tells us that we are going to iterate from the second element of the array intervals, that is interval will be 2 comma 6 starting interval. So this line of code tells us that if interval 0 is less than equal to merged minus 1 1, interval 0's value is 2 and merged minus 1 1 value is 3. So as we can see that 2 is less than 3, then merged minus 1 1 equals to maximum of merged minus 1 1 comma interval 1, and interval 1 is 6, which is end element of interval. So merged minus 1 1 equals to max of merged minus 1 1 means 3 and interval 1 means 6, that is end element of that interval, that particular interval. So it will become 6, that is this element will become 6. So our updated merged array will become so the else statement tells us that if above condition doesn't satisfy, then we will simply append the given interval. So as you can see, the next subinterval is at 8 comma 10. As 8 is not less than 6, therefore we will simply append 8 comma 10 in the merged interval. That is, our merged interval will become 1 comma 6, then 8 comma 10, and same applies for the next interval, that is 15 is greater than 10. So these two will also not overlap, therefore we will simply append this to the merged array as given in else condition. So third is 15 comma 18. So finally we will return the merged array, which is our desired output. So this was our today's solution. So if you have any query regarding this, you can freely ask in comment section